ladies and gentlemen, to a quick broadcast of Jerusalem's Gate. I got some important news to go over with you. As some may know, there's some talk in the social media about an event that happened in Israel. I don't know if it's factual or not. I'd rather not report on it, but we'll go over a couple of things. Now, there's no doubt that Iran has been involved in the East with Syria, Yemen, such like that. Now, there is also no doubt that they're working on a nuclear bomb. To be quite honest, if they had another nuclear deal, I think they would still be working on a nuclear bomb, and Israel proved that with the last nuclear deal. Well, Israel is not perfect. I'm not saying Israel is perfect, but you have to remember one thing, and we can never forget this, that Israel is God's country. And what I'd like to go over first is a few scriptures. I hope you can see this, by the way. I have trouble with the light, the darn light. Genesis 12:3. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curses thee, and thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. That's God talking about Israel. He will bless those that bless him and curse those that curse them. Why does, in some wars that Israel's had, both sides have reported of supernatural things happening in some wars that Israel's had. Now, why is that? Well, Psalms 94:9. He that planted the ear, shall he not hear? He that formed the eyes, shall he not see? And I think that can go for all leaders of all nations. They think they're doing things in secret or saying things in secret. Little do they know that God's ear hears what they are saying, and God's eye sees what they're doing. And that goes for all nations of the world. Now, there's been, Israel knows the importance of stopping Iran from getting a nuclear weapon. They've already got missile capabilities. Can you imagine a world with Iran with long-range missile capabilities to reach throughout the world with nuclear warheads? It'd be a very terrifying world. Well, that is why Israel is fighting so hard to stop Iran from obtaining nuclear weapons. It would be extremely dangerous for Israel security interests if Iran gets a nuclear weapon. And Iran, if they do, or when they do obtain a nuclear weapon, the whole game changes at that point, like any country. The whole approach how you handle a country that has long-range missile capabilities of nuclear warheads, the whole game changes on how you treat them. And Iran knows that too. Iran knows that. You heard me talking over the years saying that Iran wants to counterbalance the powers of Israel being a nuclear weapon country themselves. But I got a video for you that goes over all the different attempts by Israel to stop this horror from happening. It's from I-24 News. All credit goes to them. Here comes the video. God be with you, and we love you.
For over 10 years, a war has been fought in the shadows. The weapons are espionage, sabotage, and assassination. The aim, to destroy Iran's nuclear weapons program. On November 27th, Mohsen Fakhrizadeh became the highest-profile target of the war, and Iran immediately pointed its finger at Israel and vowed vengeance.
The nation of Iran is too smart to fall in the trap set by the Zionists. They're thinking of creating chaos, but they should know that we have read their hands, and they will not succeed in achieving their wicked goals.
Conflicting details about Fakhrizadeh's killing are still emerging, describing either automated vehicles with machine guns or an assault by dozen-man death squads. But regardless of the means, the assassination fits a clear pattern of behavior. The first was in 2010. Senior Iranian nuclear scientist Masoud Ali Mohammadi is killed in northern Tehran. Months later, a computer virus called Stuxnet destroys centrifuges at Iran's Natanz facility. In November of the same year, another nuclear scientist, Majid Shahararari, is killed in Tehran. July 2011 sees another physicist killed by motorcycle gunmen. And in January 2012, a chemist is killed in an explosion in Tehran. Iran publicly accuses Israel and hangs an Iranian citizen accused of working with Israel's Mossad intelligence agency.
We have a very active young generation working on this branch of science. If Israel thinks it can prevent our studies with 4 terrorist attacks, it's a very weak way of thinking.
After that, operations against the nuclear program switched to looting and sabotage. In 2018, Israel reveals a trove of documents detailing the extent of Iran's nuclear program, seized from secret warehouses. But this year, direct operations stepped up in earnest against the infrastructure. June 26, 2020, explosions rock Iran's Farchin military base, which develops triggers for nuclear warheads. June 30th, Kozhir, more explosions in underground tunnels housing missile engines. July 2nd, Iran's Natanz nuclear facility takes heavy damage in a series of explosions, forcing Iran to begin working on underground facilities. There are no distinctions between combatant and civilian in this shadow war. But will a new round of killings be a deterrent or simply bolster Iran's resolve?